Hey guys, my name is Hiraku Murakami. I'm here with Nova Edge Academics, and today we'll be covering a video on how to pick the right university for you. Now, in the following months, you'll probably be receiving your university offers, and you'll have to pick one university out of many to choose where you will be spending the next 3 to 4 or even 5 years of your life. And it becomes crucial to choose the right university and environment for you. And so today, we're covering 5 factors to consider before you select that university. And the first one to consider is money, the financial implication of going to university. Going to university is not cheap, and it will take a lot of financial burden on either you or your parents or whoever that's supporting you. So typically, if you go to a university in the US, you'll incur probably the highest tuition and the highest cost of living. As an example, if you go to MIT, you'll be expected to pay around $62,000 just in tuition, and including fees and others, then you'll probably be looking at around $85,000 to $87,000 per year. Another example is NYU, which will expect you to pay around $63,000 of tuition, and including cost of living in New York, you'll be looking at around $99,000 just to go to NYU for 1 year. And so over the 4 years, that racks up to $400,000. And that's quite a lot of investment and also commitment. Well, you might be asking, well, I really want to go to a good university. What can I do without spending this much money? Well, there are other alternatives in other parts of the world, let's say in Canada, Australia, the UK, and Europe, right? Especially Europe, that's where you'll probably have the most affordable option. And as an example, a university that's ranked 7th in the world, named ETH Zurich, will have a lot less tuition. So let's take a look. So their tuition comes out to 2,190 Swiss francs, or $2,420 per semester. In 2 semesters, that's $4,840 per year. That is substantially lower than what you will be expected to pay in the US. Another example, well, what if you want to go to Southeast Asia? Well, a university in Singapore named National University of Singapore is ranked 8th in the world, and its tuition comes out to about $28,700. And with tuition grants that's available by the government of Singapore to not just Singaporean but anyone, that actually comes out to about $13,200 per year. That is also substantially lower than what you would be expected to pay in the US. And another thing to consider is, of course, cost of living as well. Some countries and cities will have a lot higher cost of living, and this is something that you also need to factor in as well. Now, a second factor to consider is the location, and we're talking about country and a city as well. And this comes back to the purpose of going to university tailored for you. So if your purpose of going to university is to just live abroad and have experiences living a few years and experience that lifestyle, then you can pick any university you want depending on where you want to go. However, if you're looking for a more permanent move, let's say if you want to move to the US after to work and settle, then it becomes recommended that you go to a university in the US. And the reason why is because after graduating from university in the US, you'll be eligible to apply for a work visa straight out of college. And with that work visa, you can apply for companies in the US and settle there. And this is virtually true for most countries around the world. Another example is Canada. If you graduate from a Canadian university, then you'll be eligible to apply for a visa after university to work in Canada. So that's something that you might want to consider before making that decision, is where you see yourself in the future, where you want to live, and where you want to work. A third factor to consider is lifestyle that suits you. And this, I think, is a factor that's very, very important, and most people don't realize how important it is until they get to university where they experience the lifestyle. So this includes, if you want to live in a city, if you want to live in a rural area or suburban area. And so all of these three will have their own advantages and disadvantages. So as an example, if you go to a metropolitan city, then you'll be in the middle of the city, which means you'll have a lot of bars, a lot of clubs, a lot of restaurants, and these nightlifes that are very fulfilling. You might also have other activities like movies, bowling, other sorts of activities that's very social, and you might be able to make more friends than if you lived in suburban areas. However, there are also drawbacks as well. Your living space will be very limited, will be very small, it will be more expensive. Maybe your kitchen will be too small for you to even cook, right? So if you value, let's say, cooking and making a lifestyle for yourself like that, then you might want to consider other types of cities. And if you go to a university in a suburban area, maybe you'll have more outdoorsy activities like skiing, hiking, canoeing, etc. that might be more suited for your hobbies. And if you find those more fulfilling than, let's say, a nightlife, then that might be more tailored to your needs. Now, there are some, of course, cities that have both of them, let's say Vancouver, Montreal, Stockholm, Zurich, Barcelona, etc., where you have, a combination of the experience of living right in the middle of the city, but at the same time having the positives of exploring nature and going and having those activities as well. So this is something that I would strongly recommend to look into where you've applied to universities. Look into the city, what kind of lifestyle you can expect out of that city, and then make a decision based off of that as well. Or a fourth factor that you want to consider is the prestige and ranking of that university. And we've put this quite low on the list. And the reason why is because it actually doesn't translate as much as you think directly for your career. And the reason why is because prestige is very, very subjective to each region in the world. So as an example, a US-based company in New York might see a degree from NYU as prestigious, if not more prestigious, than, let's say, Imperial College London in the UK. And by the way, Imperial College London has achieved second in ranking in the world in 2024. However, this might be the case depending on the company. And the reason why is because of the geological ties that it has with local universities and the types of applicants that they get on a year-to-year basis. You might also have, executives at a higher level that's from that local university that has the ties to the companies. So prestige is very subjective, and this is true for, let's say, a Japanese company from my home country. A Japanese company might see a university like Waseda University, which is ranked 181st in the world, to be as competitive as, let's say, a University of Toronto. That's actually one of the best universities in Canada and also the world. So prestige is very, very subjective. And so this is something that you want to generally have at the back of your mind, but not make a decision solely on this. You never know where you'll end up in your future, and this is not something that you want to obsess over. And I know when I was in your shoe, when I was selecting university, I held ranking and prestige to be one of the priorities. But once you experience the university life and what comes after, then you'll realize that this isn't as important as you may think right now. Okay? And last but not least, I want to talk about the fifth factor, which is the industry and the proximity to the industry. So this is for the people that, you kind of already know what kind of industry you want to get into, and you pick the degree based off of that. And these are more for niche industries, let's say like gaming industry, car industries, aerospace industry, or oil and gas industry. So if you're going to industries that are very niche and location specific, then you might want to pick a university that's close to those industries. A perfect example I can give you is oil and gas. So if you pursue an industry like oil and gas, then you'll typically choose chemical engineering, petroleum engineering, or process engineering degrees, right? Well, the question becomes, which university should I go to? So as an example, if I get accepted to, let's say, Caltech, Princeton, and UT Austin in Texas, I might want to pick UT Austin over the other two. And the reason why is because the UT Austin is in proximity to all the oil and gas companies in Texas. And those companies will recruit heavily from local universities. They'll have ties to its universities. They'll have alumni network to its universities and connections to its universities. And so as a student there, you'll have a lot more exposure to those companies and industry, and you have a lot more opportunities. So even if you come from a very prestigious university in the US or even globally, you'll have a lot less opportunity as those universities are located close to the industry that you want to work in. So there you go. Those are the 5 factors that we think are very important when you select a university. The overall summary is you want to consider the financial implication, the location of the university, the lifestyle of the university, prestige, as well as the industry that you may want to work for after university. If you found this video useful, then give us a like and comment down below any questions you have, and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. At NovaEdge Academics, we guide students through the IB program, whether that is free material on our channel, one-on-one tutoring with the best in the industry, or university strategy consulting. If you'd like to book a free session with us, go to our website at novaedgeacademics.com, where you can write your name and contact information, and we'll be right there to get back to you. In the meantime, we'll see you in the next video.